Check 1, 2.
Check.
We've been blabbing the whole time with no sound. Let's see. It's been recording on here. I'd go check it out on the YouTube, Dave. I think it's up now.
Right.
They gave me some stupid warning about my camera was going to knock the audio offline. Okay, if you're joining us right now on what the puck is going on, you haven't missed much. We're basically just going over the standings for the most part. Let's see. The Bruins are on fire for sure. I'll give a quick recap. Cliff Notes version. I think we got the audio squared away. Dave will check that out. Let's see here. So Carolina, they've been very well here. We're talking from the Metro in the East. Carolina 9-0-1 in their last 10. The Penguins 8-1-1 in their last 10. The Caps 9-1 in their last 10. The top 6 teams being Carolina, the Devils, the Penguins, the Rangers, the Caps, and the Islanders, all with plus goal differentials. Philly and Columbus staggering bad. Okay, Bruins plus 56 on their goal differential. We're into the Atlantic Division. They've won 4 in a row. Yeah, so is my stupid camera mic. That's lame. That's okay. Toronto, I'm just recapping everything.
Okay, yeah.
Toronto plus 29 on their goal differential, 7-2-1 overall in their last 10. Tampa's been playing well. We took note of the Sabres. They have 127 goals that they put in. They won 4 in a row and 7-2-1 here. And having really bad, we're discussing teams for the penalty box. We haven't done that yet. If you're tuning in to our late audio issues here. But Florida, Montreal, and Ottawa, all good candidates to go into the penalty box. All of those 3 teams flailing. The Central's jumbled up. Dallas, Winnipeg, Colorado, Minnesota, all up there within striking distance. The Blues having a bad run of it at minus 19 goals on their differential. They've given up 124. We know that Dallas scoring a lot of goals. They're not necessarily the defensive team you may think that they are. They have 125 goals scored, 99 that they've given up. Arizona, although they've been playing well by their standards, still a minus 30 on their goal differential. And Chicago is looking horrible at minus 47. Definitely look to play against them. And then I think the only other thing, if we go through the quick recap, here in the Pacific, we talked about how many goals the Kings give up. They've given up 128 goals. How about this, Dave? The Kings are in second place in the Pacific with a minus 7 goal differential.
I was looking at that, Steve, and I was just waiting for you to say that because, man, it's, you don't really see a whole lot of that. Typically, when you give up more than you can put in, you're losing games. So kind of a weird algorithm, I guess you could say, going on here in L.A. But they are 19, 12, and 6 for 44 points. And that is good for second in the Pacific. I don't want to say that, Steve, the Pacific is a weak conference or a weak division, I should say. Sorry. But right now, I don't think it's that great. Seattle's still holding that third spot, so that's good for them. Steve, they might actually get that. They might actually go to the playoffs.
They've faded a little bit, just in the sense that they're 500, but they're still chugging along at 18, 10, and 4 overall. And you talked about teams just kind of being disappointing and weaker. I mean, you go no further than Calgary and Edmonton. I mean, when are these teams going to really turn it up? Calgary has been playing games in the overtime, but they're losing. And then, although Vancouver has been playing better lately, they're still minus 15 overall. And how Anaheim? Oh my goodness, minus 63 on their goal differential. Somehow the Ducks have managed to win 3 games here in their last 10. I'm not sure how, but man, there are some bad teams, and it's just going to get uglier for them as well. So opportunities galore to play against Anaheim, I think, against Chicago still. I think those are automatic fades. I'm going to start looking at betting against Montreal, I think. They're just giving up too many goals. Florida as well. Leaky defense is not going to be sustainable for trying to win games. Columbus, they've given up 135 goals now too.
Yeah, they're really bad, Steve. They got they're in some trouble there in Columbus. But yeah, I just want to say a quick, the Calgary and Edmonton that you said, Steve. Those were teams I believe we talked about. At least myself for sure. I thought we're gonna, be 1-2 in that division, kind of fighting it out for first place there. That was my initial thought. Right now, it's not happening. So definitely a little disappointing for them. So I think that covers the standings there, Steve, and the penalty box. We're going to touch on that. And, Steve, I believe we're going to go ahead and agree here with the Ottawa Senators, correct?
I think they're good candidates. I think they have the Bruins coming up this week, the Sabres coming up this week. Let's see if I can just pull this up real fast without being super annoying, trying to figure out who the hell the Senators are going to play. But when I was looking at them, let's see. The Senators got the Bruins tomorrow night. And then on Thursday night, they're at the Capitals. That's right. And then Saturday and Sunday, they will have games where they are at Detroit. Tough game there. And then hosting the high-flying now Buffalo Sabres on Sunday. So this might be tough sledding for the Sens this week. You might be looking at 4 losses for them.
Yeah, Steve, I think we're definitely going to look to pick on them this week. Just hearing most of those games are on the road. The one home game with Boston, I really don't care that it's at home for them. Boston seems to be the juggernaut right now. So I don't think that home ice advantage helps them any there. And then they go on the road and play those 3 teams you listed. For sure, we're definitely going to pick on them because I don't like, them in really any of those matchups. So, all right, Steve, let's go ahead here and let's dive into the slate. Going to get this loaded up here. And all right, well, Steve, who better to start off with than the Boston Bruins at the Ottawa Senators?
That's an easy win for the Bruins. That you can look at them to get their team goals for sure. I think plain and simple. They're whatever they lost 4 times all year. I don't have no shot in the world they're going to lose to the Senators. I mean, we just said it. Some of these teams at the bottom, it's time to really start trying to hammer them down. Coming off break, you probably need it. I mean, if we look at the injuries here, Boston is relatively healthy as well. I believe. Yeah, I mean, they just have one player on the injured list. And then if you look at Ottawa, I think it's going to be a lot worse than that for sure. I mean, they have everyone off. And just right before the break, too. I mean, they've lost a lot of their top players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players now have gone to the injured reserve list here in December.
So, Steve, this is interesting to me. The 60-minute line. And now, while it's not plus money, if you're parlaying, do you give any thought to the Boston Bruins on the 60-minute line at minus 115? That's a number you feel like would be at like minus 135 or something. You know what I mean?
A lot of these lines still aren't quite up, but I wouldn't even be afraid to take the puck line at plus 136 to lay a goal and a half with Boston.
Right. You could even probably bump that up, Steve. You could go,
At some point, you might be able to play this to win. You're going to get a nice, decent price to win by 3 goals or more, and this is going to be a candidate for that.
Absolutely. I really like that play. So we can really just kind of find anything with Boston.
Team goals, you name it. I mean, this has 5-1 written all over it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go here. See, sometimes mine doesn't do the so I got the Bruins to win by 3 would be plus 450.
Oh, you got that right now? Okay, yeah. I don't have that up at the book I'm looking at. They just had a couple of the basic lines, no props. But yeah, that sounds good to me.
And Steve, if you wanted to, if you were feeling, really frisky on a Tuesday evening, if you think that little 5-1 there is a joke, but it's a 20-1 odds for 5-1.
I could maybe get frisky there for. You know what? I mean, it's not like I would ever put any kind of significant wager down to win a lot of money that way, but round robin style, yes, all day.
Yes.
Give me the Bruins.
So yeah, we like that. Even if you wanted to, make it a little $5 joke bet, and it comes across, you're going over $100 for a $5 bill.
Here's the deal. The next game, are you going to Carolina? Is that your next game?
Let's see here. Yeah, we can go to it versus the Blackhawks.
Yeah. So here's your bet. You take the minus 450 for the Hurricanes at home against the Blackhawks. But I think you could probably take both of these teams to win by 3 goals and parlay that together.
There you go. Yeah, we could yeah, you know what, Steve? I like that because even the 60-minute line, something we always like to look at is minus 250. I mean, I certainly understand. I'm not, complaining about the numbers or anything, but you're not really getting anything out of that.
I've got Carolina minus 2.5 at plus 122. Even if I just do that with the Bruins at minus 1.5, I'm going to get plus 423. I mean, that's fair enough.
Right.
For a little bit cheaper price for the Bruins on the road. But Carolina's a buzzsaw right now. Chicago, these are 2 teams going in the complete opposite direction.
Indeed.
So team goals galore. If you get exotic numbers, let's see what I can get on the old other book here, if they'll still let me in.
Over 3.5 for Carolina is minus 180 over here for me. You would have to go over 4.5 to get a plus 125.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. So I would literally just lay the 2.5 because this is 4-0, if anything. I think they cover plus 122, minus 2.5.
Yeah, so that's probably fair.
And then all these other games start to get harder as we go.
Yeah, so yeah, you probably absolutely, I agree. So what did we say there, Steve? You had the by 3 for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, just
plus 320.
Just your basic blowouts, Carolina and Boston. Parlay them together, team total goals. If you'd like, more comfortable with the puck lines in case these other teams don't score, and then. I don't think there's any letting off the gas in hockey per se, but I mean, would you be shocked if either of these games were 7-0 or 6-0 or something like that?
No, absolutely not. So maybe a over could be some kind of play as well if you like to do that. So all right, those 2 games we kind of figure we know what's going to happen with those. So Steve, let's go into this one. This will be tough. I'm sure we can find some good value in it. The Washington Capitals heading up to Madison Square Garden to play the Rangers. This will be a good one.
2-1 odds on the money line, 60-minute money line for the Capitals is good. But this is a hard game. I feel like the Rangers-Capitals games are always tough. I think at the end of the day, for me, and let me see if I can back out. Every time I say this, I'm going to pass. I end up not passing, and I take something. But team total goals in this game, let's see. The Capitals, the Capitals to get over 2.5 team total goals at minus 145. I could definitely use that as some sort of a dancing partner for some play. Sturkin is probably the goalie for the Rangers, I'm sure, but he has not had the greatest season by his standards. Plus 165 for the Caps if you think they can get over 3.5 goals. That may be tempting too.
Yeah, just do over 3.5. Yeah, I have it at plus
This
110.
seems to me to be a 3-2 game Capitals.
Yeah,
That's
so I'm thinking maybe an under here. Or Steve, I don't have it. It's not giving it to me. I mean, it's giving me a pretty healthy list of things I can do, but it has left some stuff out. You know what I'd be really interested in this game for? To go to overtime. You know it's probably going to be at, plus 300 or more.
right. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
So taking a shot on that is always an option when you get two teams like this, divisional, both teams on the upswing. So an overtime wouldn't shock me here if you wanted to do some kind of, like a round robin or something like that. So I could definitely see that. But, team totals over 3.5 or plus 110. But I tell you what, Steve, if it were me, under 6 at minus 110, that's probably something that I would give consideration. You got anything else for this one?
Nope.
All righty, moving on. Next game up. Well, this book is always so slow. All right, here we go. Here's another good one, Steve. Divisional. Pittsburgh Penguins. They are heading to play the New York Islanders. The over in this game is at 6, and it's at plus 100. I could see that, but the Islanders worry me because they would probably have to get theirs. And I don't know if you think the Islanders, you think a little bit more of a defensive team, at least in my eyes. So, Steve, what direction that are you going to go here?
It looks like to me that if I look at the injury report, there's a lot of question marks for the Islanders still. All these players are a question mark. Clutterbuck, Varlamov, Kyle Palmieri, Brock Nelson.
Big names.
Simon Holmstrom. So I would be looking strictly at the Penguins play here. Penguins total goals for sure. You can kind of almost throw the stats out when you have this many kind of injuries. But the Isles have given up 98 goals. They've scored 112. The Penguins, so they're a plus number, plus 14, and then the Pens a plus 19. But this is strictly an injury scenario, and Pittsburgh is by far the hotter team going into the break. So I'd be looking at goals total over for Pittsburgh. If I'm getting a plus price at over 3.5 goals, then that's where I'm going to lean to. And I think my number is at plus 130 for Pittsburgh over 3.5 goals.
Right. Yeah, that would probably be safe, Steve. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the race to 3 goals is something that I like to look at. The race to 3 for Pittsburgh is at plus 120, and I think I like that probably enough to really put a play on that. I certainly think that they can score 3 goals before New York does, and you get a plus number for it. You would think you wouldn't get a plus number until 4, but they're giving it to you at 3. Steve, I think that's something I'm going to take there, plus 120. I think they get to 3 before New York does. So we're going to move on. Steve, you got anything else you're going strictly Penguins on that?
Yeah, I'm building a parlay. I'll tell you all as I go
all right.
what it is. But it's everything I just mentioned so far. Caps over 2.5 goals. Penguins over 3.5 goals. And then I'm leaving out the obvious right now of
right
Boston and Carolina. But the next game I probably have on your list too. Let me know what it is.
All right. Yep. We're going to move to that right now. So here we go. This will be another interesting one. You're right, Steve. They get a little bit harder as we go along. You have the Dallas Stars heading to Nashville to play the Predators.
Yes, this game is on my list. Dallas, as far as injuries go for the Stars, they are healthy. They have just Dennis Gurianov out for personal reasons. He'll be out until after the new year, so you must have something going on, whatever. So they're fine. But Nashville, on the other hand, they're going to be actually pretty healthy too. So both teams are going to go into this contest with decent health. Nashville has been the one team that is maybe, I thought, doing a little bit better than I thought. Maybe not. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10. Dallas, with the 6-3-1 record, they just can simply just outscore you. And they're going to outscore Nashville. Nashville has only 82 goals on the year. They've given up 98, minus 16. And then there's Dallas with their plus 26 goal differential. Now, Nashville may get theirs at home, but Dallas is going to get theirs on the road. So I'm looking at Dallas on a plus price. Again, over 3.5 goals is plus 125.
Okay, all right. I see you're gonna go there. So Steve, if that's going to be the case, if they're both going to get theirs, then that would sound kind of like you're leaning towards somewhat of an over idea here.
Yes. But do I trust Nashville at the end of the day to do their part?
Right.
Kind of over. I'm not, and I'm going to throw them in the same boat where I wouldn't trust the other two bad teams, the Senators, to score against the Bruins.
Right.
I'm not going to trust. And I'm not going to trust Chicago and Carolina either.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. So I might go with the money line and total play of the Dallas Stars and over 5.5, because I like the 5.5 number. Just makes me a little bit more comfortable. I mean, Steve, could the Dallas Stars win 4-2?
Oh yeah. I had 4-2 kind of set in my mind.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you're gonna get plus 205 for that.
Yeah, that's a good payoff. I would go with that for sure.
So that's where I'm gonna look in this one. We've talked a bit about the Stars. So while we may not know them, we do know a little bit about them, enough that I feel good putting a little game parlay as my pick there. So you got anything else for that, Steve?
Nope.
All right, so no over or no.
Just the team goals.
Just the team goal
for Dallas.
All right, so here we go, Steve. This one, the Toronto Maple Leafs at the St. Louis Blues. I think our first initial thought is, are we going to pick on the Blues here a little bit?
Yes, in the sense that they give up a lot of goals themselves, but they've also been able to put the puck in the back of the net too. Now they were 5-3-2 in their last 10, so they're definitely playing better, but they've given up way too many goals. As far as a straight overplay, I could see this on both sides for sure.
This could be one.
This is one. What is the over under in this game?
6.5.
So
we talked about. I talked to you about that the other night too. I don't like them, so I ain't playing those 6.5s no more.
Yeah. But I could see the Blues. Man, over 3.5 is tempting at plus 155, but just over 2.5 at minus 155. I think I'd throw them in that parlay. But I think the Maple Leafs definitely get 4. So maybe the Maple Leafs at over 3.5 goals minus 120. I think you just pick your poison. I think either team you take. You're getting a nice plus money price with the Blues. I think the sure thing's over 2.5. And I think the sure thing for Toronto is over 3.5.
Right. So I like that, Steve. That's definitely something to look at. Here's something that I'm looking at here. The 60-minute line, Steve, which is I'm a little surprised by this. The Toronto Maple Leafs are minus 105 on the 60-minute line. Can you make anything of that? Because that kind of makes me gravitate towards that.
They're just
they're a little sketchy though.
7-2-1 in their last. Now they're 7-2-1 in their last 10. 8-5-3 on the road. The Blues, their home record's not that great. 6-7-1. I think you have a good case for the Maple Leafs in that scenario.
Yeah, so that's
they're gonna. I would say Toronto's definitely the. I'd be surprised if this gets to overtime.
I would be too.
This could be, yeah, but this could be one of those just crazy 4-4 games or something like that.
Right, absolutely.
Or 5-5 too, just because the Blues get hot. Safer bet, I think, just with the team totals overall.
Right. Which is your trend here. Nothing wrong with that though. Good plays. That's certain. All right, Steve. The Minnesota Wild in Winnipeg playing the Jets. Divisional game. I think this is one is going to be tighter than we think. This, I feel like, could certainly be an overtime game.
My first thought is that this is an overtime game. Plus 320 to go to overtime. So this is the perfect candidate for that. If you want to play overtimes, I will have to eliminate some of these games as I go because don't want to bet everyone. I just
right.
So this is an easy pass for me, but a very good hockey game and very important in the terms of that division as well.
Indeed. I'll tell you what, Steve. Yeah, I feel it's kind of hard to pick which way you want to go on this. Being that it is so tight, if I was doing some kind of like overtime round robin, that we kind of, I could definitely see this going to overtime. You build out a little round robin, that the parlay is probably not going to hit, but you still get paid on the round robin. I think this is one that I'm going to have to pass as well, just because I'm not exactly sure.
Some of these games,
who I'd like to side with here.
Nephew Dave, some of these games, you just sit back and be a fan, man.
Exactly. And I think this is one of them. No doubt about that.
I think the next one might be one too. If I'm thinking about the right game you're going to go to next, but go ahead.
All right, we're going over here. All right, the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes, same boat. This is the same boat. And both of these teams, for the same reasons, to be honest, we've already talked about it on the show. They're two of the, less disappointing teams in that Pacific Division, the Oilers and the Flames. We expect so much more out of these two teams. Yet they could be in the Stanley Cup or the Western region or Western Finals.
Yeah.
To be honest, this could be a Western Finals matchup. That is the ceiling for both of these teams. And literally anything less than that is probably a disappointment in their books.
Right.
Both of these teams have Stanley Cup aspirations. They haven't shown it yet. As in the standings, they're in the Pacific with Edmonton and Calgary. They're fourth and fifth, Calgary and then Edmonton, 39 and 38 points. Calgary a +1, Edmonton a +4, and in their last 10, 4-2-4 for Calgary, 4-4-2 for Edmonton. So you're talking about teams who completely mirror each other. Edmonton a little bit better on the road, 500 at home. Calgary a little bit better at home, 500 on the road. But this, again, is a good hockey game, and good luck just trying to figure out a bet, because this could be 1-1 going into overtime, or this could be 5-5.
I was just about to say that. Something very similar to that, yes.
They both tend to give up a lot of goals, so I think the over would be more of the play, to be honest. They both Calgary has scored 110. Edmonton has scored 126 goals. Those are better numbers in the league, but they've given up atrocious numbers by that standard as well. 122 for Edmonton, 109 for Calgary. So, yeah, I guess the over is a better play. But if you have that playoff type of feel, you can kind of throw that out the window.
Right, exactly, Steve. And that's the side of that will kill an over quickly. with two teams like this.
It's not going to be cheap, is it? It's going to 7 is the over-under in this game. 7. So honestly, whatever the all-under is, I might even take a stab on that just to kind of.
You never know. I mean, you never know.
Yep.
You're thinking it's a shootout. Next thing you know, it's 2-1. Somebody wins in overtime, 2-1.
Yeah, and you just need one scoreless period to kind of get there.
Right, exactly. So, Steve, I was thinking about that, but and it's just seemed to be one of those kind of years so far where, this sets up for that. You think it's a shootout, which it certainly is capable of being, and then it's not. So that under, you know what, Steve? Maybe under 6.5 at plus 105. Take a stab. I'm probably not going to do anything because it's exactly like the game there with Minnesota that we just talked about. But as far as trying to find something for it, and you want to kind of go against the grain a little bit, under 6.5 at plus 105 would be my kind of edgy pick for that. So let's move on to the next game here. We have 2 remaining after this one. The Colorado Avalanche in Arizona to play the Coyotes. Colorado minus 1.5 is at plus 110. I don't usually play too many puck lines because they are difficult, as we've talked about before. But, Steve, I think this is one that maybe I would even move to 2.5 in favor of Colorado. Certainly, take a look at their team totals because they could get it against the Arizona Coyotes. But my first initial thought, Steve, the puck line, even if you don't move it up, if you just want, to win by 2 or more at plus 110, I think is pretty fair. And it's a plus number. So, Steve, actually, you know what? I would probably just leave it right there, minus 1.5 for the Colorado Avalanche.
Arizona is going to come into this game relatively healthy by their standards. Colorado is still banged up, but we talked about it earlier. They are playing good hockey. I mean, they are winners of 4 in a row now, 6-3-1 overall in their last 10, and they're good on the road, 10-6. I'm going to take Colorado over 3.5 goals at minus 130.
There you go.
I got to throw that in my player parlay. That kind of stuck out to me when we went over the numbers initially, knowing that, again, they're playing one of the more porous teams in the Central Division there. Arizona has given up 117 goals, and this just has all the makings of Colorado having whatever success you want. But Arizona just 4-5-1 in their last 10. That's the only concerning thing, is they haven't quite given up on the season yet.
Right.
They're still putting up some resistance. But I think it's a green light for Colorado, even with the injuries.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. So here's the game, Steve, that I tell you what, I'm not going to care much about at all. The San Jose Sharks at the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, and I wanted to try to hitch myself to. These teams are actually kind of fun. You can always bet them for over 2.5 goals, and I feel like they get there.
Right.
When you have a late night play going, because you're always trying to play these games. I can't say that they've done me wrong, but yeah, literally. And I tell myself this too. I'm like, man, aren't you glad you didn't bet on a team to just kind of take their goals? Because where Vancouver can get 3 goals, or San Jose can still get 3 goals, they give up 6. And they end up losers, but you still can win if you bet on them. Kind of one of the more reasons why I like these team goal angles is you don't have to the team doesn't necessarily have to win. They just need to kind of get to that landmark. But yeah, this is going to be a pass for me.
Yeah, Steve, I'm feeling the same way. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the totals. Over 2.5 for San Jose is minus 160. Yeah, I guess so. in that regard. But nothing really exciting me about this one, so I'm gonna have to pass on that as well. It's just not a game that I feel would interest us in the ways that we like to go about things.
Yeah, and I know we only have one game left, so we'll go commercial free and go to the futures. That way, listeners who missed with the audio issues earlier won't have to listen to commercials.
Right. All right, so the last game here, Steve. Vegas Golden Knights heading to L.A. to play the Kings. Now, this is one we could probably get on board somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm on board because this is going to be the last play of my little team parlay that I'll go over in a minute. I'm going to make it easy for myself. I'm not going to ask for high aspirations here. I'm just going to take the Golden Knights on the road to get just over 2.5 goals, and I'll lay the extra juice. So I just need the Knights to get the 3 goals. And going into Los Angeles with the Kings, I don't want to worry about that 4th goal. Let's go play this Kings team that gives up a ton of goals. And as long as I can get 3 goals against the Kings, who have given up 128 on the season, with my Golden Knights scoring 122. Again, the Kings with a -7 point scoring differential, and they're second place. So this is a battle of first and second.
Yep.
Here. So huge in terms of Vegas getting a little bit more separation. They lead the Kings by 5 points there. But yeah, I'm going to make life easy. Vegas Golden Knights over 2.5 team goals. I'm paying significant juice at -175, but I'm fine with that.
Right. And Steve, I'm going to go in, like you said, you like to make it simple in that regard. I'm going to go over to my race here, and I'm going to choose either in between 2 and 3, Steve, because they're both plus money. So Vegas to score 2 goals plus 100, or Vegas to score 3 goals first is plus 130. That's the area I'm going to go in for that one there. I feel like, at the rate LA, lets the puck in the net. I really don't think that's asking too much for Vegas to do. So I think that's very achievable, and that's the area that I'm going to go into. And I'll probably take the race to 3. I think Vegas could get to 3 first for sure, especially if they get the goaltending. So, Steve, I believe that's it as far as the slate goes. So let's jump into these totals real quick and see these futures, I should say, and see what we got. If my book will let me here. Man, this thing likes to be slow. What do you got over there, Steve? You got yours pulled up?
Yeah. For the futures, I do. Looking at the Stanley Cup, which has been on the ticker the whole time. The Avalanche are plus 550. I see the Bruins at plus 600. The Canes at plus 900. Knights at plus 900. Maple Leafs 10-1. Devils now down to 13-1, so they're dropping. Lightning plus 1,400. Penguins plus 1,800. The Flames at plus 1,800. Rangers plus 1,800. Stars plus 1,800. Oilers 20-1. The Wild 20-1. Panthers still 25-1. The Kings second place in their division, 37-1 odds. The Jets second place in their division, 50-1 odds. The Kraken close to the top of their division, 50-1 odds. And how about the Caps to win the Stanley Cup? 65-1 odds still for the Caps. And then in the East, did you want me to run down what I see here?
Yeah, that's fine. I got mine now.
35-1 still for the Caps. That's the one that's going to be. I'm going to notate as one I'm going to check off. And how about the Sabres? We talked about how much they've scored. 50-1 if you can get on board with the Sabres at the East. The only other thing I'll look at here in the West, if it was me, Kraken now at just 20-1. I don't know if I'm game with that. Dallas plus 850. I still kind of like that, to be honest. So how about this? If I were just to get crazy and do a Dallas versus Capitals exact matchup, $100 will pay $34,100.
Which I don't think is unimaginable.
No. I'm gonna have to get a little frisky with something like this. If I get one good hit to come through tonight, David, go Chargers and go Utah Jazz, then yes, we're gonna make that bet.
Excellent. So Steve, I wanted to check in here. I think we pretty much got the futures pretty well covered there with the numbers that you gave off. So I just want to check on this real quick, Steve. Detroit Red Wings special to make the playoffs plus 550. The number has gone up.
Okay. Now I see plus 640 over here to make the playoffs. And the Sabres to make the playoffs at plus 380 is nice.
Yeah.
Too right now. If you throw the Caps in a minus 126, that's a nice little 3-game parlay. How about that, Dave? To take the Red Wings, Sabres, and Caps. Maybe there's not enough room with some of these other teams above them who just keep winning. But the Capitals, Sabres, and Red Wings, $100 pays $6,271 to all make the playoffs. Those 3 teams.
I like that. Not mad at that. All right, Steve. Well, I think we've done a pretty good job. We've found so it was a pretty good slate. So I don't think it was really tough sledding for us tonight to find some good value that we liked.
Do you want me to go over my pick?
Yeah. So let's go over our picks real quick. I have a couple as well. And Steve, tell me what you got.
First off, I'll go ahead and take just by themselves. I'll take Carolina and Boston and some kind of parlay together. Probably team goals over 3.5 for each of them. And I'm just going to stick the 2 of those guys together. And I might get frisky and go over 4.5 goals.
There you go.
For those 2. But then on a separate ticket, I'll do Penguins over 3.5 goals plus 130. Capitals over 2.5 goals minus 145. Dallas Stars over 3.5 goals. They're at Nashville plus 125. Maple Leafs, their game in St. Louis. I'll take Toronto over 3.5 goals for the Maple Leafs minus 120. The Avalanche in Arizona over 3.5 goals at minus 130. And the Golden Knights minus 2.5. Golden Knights over 2.5 goals minus 175. If I put down $25, that pays out $1,114.
There you go.
So we can post that ticket on the Twitter at deepin757 whenever I log that in. But again, that's going to be over 3.5 Penguins goals, over 2.5 Caps goals, Stars over 3.5 goals, Maple Leafs over 3.5 goals, Avalanche over 3.5 goals, Golden Knights over 2.5 goals.
There you go. Nice, Steve. I like it. Those are some pretty good plays. So yeah, just go ahead and when you do that, send it on over, and we'll definitely get that put up there. So Steve, I'm gonna go with a little bit shorter of a ticket this evening for next evening. I'll go ahead and place it this evening though. I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Penguins race to 3 goals, Steve. That's at plus 120. And then I'm gonna do the game parlay with the Dallas Stars. So I have them on the money line and over 5.5 goals. So we need them to win, and we need the over 5.5 there. That's plus 205. And then we're going to finish it off just a little 3-leg ticket with the Toronto Maple Leafs to win on the money line, minus 105, Steve. So just a small, simple ticket there. See how things go tomorrow evening.
All right. Good luck.
So good luck to everybody out there. Hopefully we've helped you find some good value in tomorrow evening's slate. As usual, the Friday soccer paycheck on Fridays, right, Steve?
Yep, back at 4 p.m. And hopefully you're listening today as 3 of the main 4 plays hit. Arsenal team goals over, Brighton team goals over, Newcastle team goals over, and we come up a goal short with Aston Villa on their goal prop to go over. But they played hard and probably should have gone over. Nonetheless, we'll take a nice win with the paycheck. So if you're tuning in and got on board, you had a good day.
Excellent. Well, that's what we like, Steve. Another winning ticket there. All right. Well, other than that, we'll have the round robin every Sunday morning. We're
back at 11 a.m. this Friday again.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We talked about the 11 a.m. Friday show.
Yep, because of the holiday. Yep. So.
All right. Well, then we'll see y'all then. And Steve, we're getting into the thick of it there in the NFL. So we'll have plenty, I'm sure, for the round robin. All right. Well, that's going to be it for us tonight. And good evening and good luck.